Hey, it's Jason Linett, and this is Make It Rain Monday, where we're featuring top hypnosis professionals from all around the world to talk about what they've done to really build their businesses, what they did to get things up and running, and what skills and strengths from the business world they've brought into their hypnosis businesses. And once again, international edition today, joined by Rob De Groof from Belgium. How you doing, Rob?
Fine, thank you.
Yeah, well, thanks for having on here. And for those that are new to you, would you briefly introduce yourself and share a bit of what it is you're currently doing with hypnosis?
Okay, so my name is Rob. I'm from Belgium. I live in Aarschot. It's a very small town in a very small country. So we are, just for people who know a bit about Belgium, we are like 50 kilometers from Brussels and like 15 kilometers from Leuven, where the Stella beer is brewed. So a lot of people know that place nowadays. So I run the Hypnosis Center here in Belgium. I work together with 6 therapists, and we have venues in 3 different cities. So the one here in Aarschot, which one was the first, and it's the biggest. Here is also the school and the training rooms. Then we have a venue in Antwerp and in Ghent, 2 of the most the bigger cities of the Flemish-speaking part of Belgium.
Yeah, so basically now
you
ignore all the
probably know we
questions I sent you as an
have 2
example.
languages.
Yes, let's talk about that expansion. What was that moment for you? Because I'd imagine, correct me on this, you started as the solo practitioner.
Yeah, I actually started. I have a background in entertainment, so I was an entertainer for many, many years. I worked together with lots of people, and then I was getting a little bit tired of performing for children. So I wanted to do something for adults. And then, yeah, you have the choice to, because I can't sing, so there were only 2 options left. And that was become a stripper or a hypnotist. So I went for the hypnosis thing. So
There's still time to make a decision, you know.
No, I'm not going to change that one. No. And my only goal was to become a stage hypnotist and a street hypnotist, because in my I was doing like stilt walking, juggling, children entertainment, so a lot on the street as well. So I actually learned it to do street hypnosis and stage hypnosis. But then I got in contact with Jeffrey Stevens by just a guy who called me and said, I bought the DVDs from Jeffrey Stevens, and he's that's something that's written for you. And but then he said it was change work, and I said, I'm not interested in doing change work. I'm an entertainer. So, but then I looked at the DVDs and I said, oh, maybe let's do like 1, 2, 3 sessions a week. And I used, I made this little website all by myself. I used the same marketing techniques that I was using for my entertainment business. And like 3 months later, I had a full-time hypnotherapy business. So
Nice.
it was all by just, yeah,
When you say
actually
using
it
a
was
lot of the
meant
same,
to be. So
yeah, when you say using a lot of the same techniques that you were using to run the other businesses, what were some of those methods, let's say, to get those first 100 clients?
actually, at that time, it was Google AdWords. I quite a long time already before that, I decided not to do local advertisement anymore, because entertainment I had clients in the Netherlands, I had clients in the Flemish-speaking part of Belgium,
yeah.
sometimes even in the
Were they
French-speaking part.
traveling to you,
So-
or were those online
No,
sessions?
no. I was always on the road. So I traveled over there to
Yeah.
events, to business events or street events. So I decided to go national with, or sometimes even international with Google AdWords. And in the beginning, I was one of the first entertainers in my topic or in my branch that was using Google AdWords. And then we had a lot of clients because of Google AdWords. And then in hypnosis, I did exactly the same. So I was one of the first, especially direct hypnotist, especially hypnotist with 1, 2 session or 3 session programs, not with like 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 session, and most of them did relaxation therapy at that time. So I was the first to use Google AdWords, and it was a very big success. Now, of course,
here's the
all my
thing with
students
Google
are doing
AdWords
it.
that-
So.
Yeah, here's the thing with Google AdWords to chat about for a moment. Now, the technology of that is constantly changing. I mean, I have one specific campaign that's still running. It's about 2 years old. It's bringing in some stop smoking clients. Yet as I log in, of course, every single time, the entire platform changes because they think, oh, we can make this better. And then you have to, look up tutorials to figure out, wait, where do I go now to find this? Oh, they changed the name of this feature. But at its core, would you agree that the same principles that really make a platform, whether it's any pay-per-click, would you say the same principles are still true today as they were back then?
For me, I don't do the programming myself anymore. I outsourced it. I learned this from a very clever business guy in Hypnosis to outsource more, to give more out of hands. Thank you for that, Jason. I have more time to play golf now.
Nice.
No,
nice.
No. For me, one of the things that I'm most interested in all those pay per click things is that you can see what you're actually doing. You can see where your dollars are going, because when you promote something in a magazine, you know how much you paid, but you don't know how much money you gain from it. So you don't know what the benefits are from that. So I really love the Facebook ads, the Google AdWords, because you know what's going on. You know where you're spending your money.
Which, if we had fancy graphics, this is where the knowledge bomb thing would appear. Maybe we'll add that later. But you just said something beautiful there, which is that if you're going to do something, you need to have that ability to track it, to at least know this is where it's coming from. Quick example, last year in a newspaper, local magazine, full page feature of me dropping cigarettes into a trash can, which produced some decent business from it showing up. It produced even better by me using it as a resource. Yet that was going out in a local magazine, and I have to imagine the majority of people reading that magazine already don't smoke, which means it works. No, they already don't smoke, so they don't need that service. And a few people, niche rhymes with rich. A few people saw that article and they called me and go, hey, I don't need to quit smoking, but can you help me with fill in the blank? But this is the beauty of the online marketing era. And a quick side story here, then we'll jump back on track here, which is that I used to get up and I used to talk about, here's how I earned $100,000 and more in my first full-time year as a hypnotist without spending money, which that is not entirely true. And it's not that I was spending money and then hiding it. It was that I was instead spending a whole lot of time. And time is something that we can't really get that time back. If I lose money on something, well, that sucks. I can do something else and then earn the money back. Yet nowadays, I am not doing those things that got me started, the network marketing, the giving as many talks, because if I can stick that sugar-craving testimonial video in front of a bunch of people who are living with diabetes, the phone rings. So we have an amazing ability to get that specific. So we've talked about things that clearly worked and continue to work for you. What I want to go, though, is to where was that decision point to go, I got to expand, I got to bring on more people?
So I have this idea about waiting time. I don't want my clients to wait longer than 14 days.
Yeah.
Because for me, the mindset changed. When you want to stop smoking, you make a decision, and then you go to this website of this therapist, and then you say, okay, I have to wait 3 months. And 3 months later, everything can have changed. You have problems in your relations, stress at work. So you're not the same person 3 months later. So I really don't want waiting time.
Yeah, so laughing at the example of anger management. It's like, okay, great. I need you to stay angry for the next 2 months.
Yeah, just stay angry and then come and see me whenever I have time. Like I was a few weeks ago, I was on this online training, and there was this guy, and he said he has a 7-month waiting list. So yeah, for me, it's great. It's good business for him maybe, but I don't want waiting list longer than 2 weeks. So we had a problem in Ghent. We had 3 to 1 month waiting list. So now I decided to put an extra therapist over there. So that's what I'm doing. The moment I see that the waiting list is getting too long, I put an extra therapist. So I started alone on myself. And especially when I started doing virtual gastric bands as well, because that fills up your schedule, because they have the first session, a second one, sometimes a third. But then So it's filling up your schedule. So I decided to hire an extra therapist. So I trained her myself. So she was my assistant in my show. She was interested in things like psychology. She studied psychology. She never finished that one, but then she didn't know what to do with her life. And I just said, okay, I have a 7-day training next week. Just sit in the training and become my colleague here. I'm quite sure you can do it. So
are most of those people working for you?
She was very good, and that was the first one.
Sorry, I've got the sound setting in a way that I didn't hear you so well. Are most of those people now working for you in a way that they've gone through your trainings first? Is that a
all my therapists working for me are trained by myself. So I just whenever I start a training and I'm in need of an extra therapist, and I also want it be 50-50, like 50% male therapist, 50% female. So my clients have really the choice. I'm more into going to a female therapist, so they can choose. So whenever I'm in need for an extra therapist, I keep my eye on my students, and I actually wrote a little book about it. It's an ebook about working with staff, and the things that I explain in the book is. For me, it's really important to find somebody who has the ambition just to become a therapist. They want to work with clients. They don't want to do all the business thing. They don't want to do the marketing. They only want to do just to see clients, help people in a positive way. And I need those people. I don't need the one that has this ambition to have the same kind of business as I am, to be bigger than me, or to be the business guy. I want to be the business guy. That's okay. For me, that's the thing that I love to do: expand the business, create new stuff. But I need people who are just interested in working with clients and don't want to bother with all the other stuff. And those are the good people that you need to expand your business, especially when you're doing therapy.
Yeah, and let's highlight something very important that Rob's talking about here, which is that so far what you've been hearing there, just to unpack it, every decision to continue to scale up the business has been in the full focused attention about providing a better service to the client. Mm-hmm. Every decision was not because you wanted to get paid that half of the session for that person working with someone else. It was that the initial spark was, I don't want these people having to wait so long. And even so, getting into the mindset of who do you hire, what did Rob not say? You didn't just say, oh, I don't want someone I'm going to train to become my competition. It's instead to highlight what their strength is. Here's a person who is passionate about helping clients. And this is something that as an instructor I see too, that as much as I'm known as the business guy, I've got more people going through my hypnosis trainings than my business trainings. Because not everybody has that part of the mind to go, this is what I want to do. We all can use some of it to enhance what we're doing, but to inform every decision of the growth of your business about serving people better. I love that. So we've been talking about what's been working. So of course now I have to ask you, what's something that you did in the span of this career that you could kind of chalk up as being that biggest business mistake? And of course the follow-up is, what did you learn? What did you do to prevent that in the future?
Yeah, I actually did it in my previous business when I worked with the entertainers. I did the same. I had a lot of demand, so I had like 40 freelance people working for me in all different skills. But one of the problems was I had a few of them working really a lot of me with me. So they were a lot in my office. They saw what I was doing. So they became my competition. Mm-hmm. And that's because they know how I did my marketing. They know where my clients were. So the moment they know everything, so sometimes they left and they just start working on their own. So one of the things that I'm doing now, I hire this hypnotherapist. They know they work on an exclusively basis, so they can't see their own clients. They don't have to do anything else but do sessions. So we will guide them. We will give them all the administration. I have 2 people here working on administration just to do all the admin for them. but they can't go and walk away and just start another business here in Belgium. So they actually have a non-compete disclosure for 2 years. So whenever they decided to move to another country for whatever reason, they can work over there. Whenever I decide that there's not no work for them anymore, or when I have to let them go, because I had one that I had to let go because she was constantly not working with the system that I learned her. She was doing stuff that like giving people that were here for a weight loss session, giving them advice in what to eat and what not to eat. So that's not what I want, of course. Yeah. So after she was not learning it, so we have to go to the hard way. So I had to let her go, and of course then she can do whatever she wants. But when people want to go and become my competition, they have to wait like 2 years. So that's something I learned from my other business.
Although I want to inoculate something here for you, because I've known you for a number of years, and we've had part of this chat before, because you're also at the same time, again, serving the client. You are taking extremely good care of these people. You are filling their schedules. You are working them, and they're in that environment. And this is a rare thing. I've done this at times when I've brought people in to work with me, that they just get to show up. Here's the notes. Go for it.
Yep.
Rather than all this back and forth that we as the administrator, okay, I have to change the light bulb in this room. I need to call the contractors because that toilet's not flushing. New office has 2 bathrooms. All this admin stuff, but they just get to show up and only be the hypnotist. So you're presenting that win-win situation where it's not that they can't leave. It's that really you're putting it in such a place that they don't need to and they don't want to, right?
No, of course, no.
Yeah.
Because especially when you select your working stuff, when you take the one with the big ambition, then you have problems, because then they want to leave. Then they see all this thing and they say, oh, I want to do the same. I also want to make this big hypnosis center. I have stuff working for me. But you need a guy that just want to do sessions and don't want to bother with all the rest. And then they are happy because everything is done for them. Yeah. They just have to show up, do the session. And one of the things that I'm really stressed out is they have to be there for the client when the client has a question after the session or feedback, or sometimes when the change is not there yet, or the change didn't last. They have to be on spot and react immediately. For me, that's really important. They don't need to have a 100% success rate, of course, because that's impossible. But they have to be ready for the client. So the moment the client is not happy for whatever reason, or the change is not there, or it didn't last, they have to react immediately, the same day, or on a maximum the day later, so that the client knows that they are there for them, that they can offer them an extra session or advice or whatever. So sometimes just email them and give them a tip. Maybe you have to do this, listen to this recording, and the client is back on track. But when you let your client wait for like 4 days, then it's gone. Then the connection is lost, the rapport is gone, and the client is unhappy, and he's not going to send referrals. So we don't want that.
Yeah, so take that as that biggest lesson from this conversation. Value first being that formula to continue to scale up. And Rob, I know you're also going to be at Hypnosis this year too, right, in Vegas?
Yep, of course.
Yeah, which if you're watching this before, we'll have Rob talk about the class that he's doing. If you're watching it afterwards, I'm sure you'll give a website as well. And for those of you that are not yet signed up for that event, actually right beneath this video in the comments, just type the word Hypnothoughts and hit enter, and it's actually going to send you some further information about that event. Rob, how can people find out more about your work?
So I have a website for my international trainings. It's EuropeanHypnosisAcademy.com. So there you can find all the information about the English spoken trainings that are going on here in Belgium, because most of them are being live streamed as well. Or you can get live stream and replay, so or both. It's always when you buy the live stream, you have access to the replay, of course, as well, because sometimes the time, because we're here on Europe time, when you're like in the United States, sometimes it's in the middle of the night that the training start here, so that's no problem because there's a replay. So everything is on EuropeanHypnosisAcademy.com, and on for everybody who is interested in hypnosis, I really can can say, if you have the time, if you can invest the money, just go to Hypnosis, because last year it was my first time, and for me it's going to be it's a steady thing in my schedule now. I'm going to be there every year because it's a great way to connect with people. There are great classes taught. I will do my mentalism on for hypnotherapist presentation again this year. So, and I will also do a post-conference training, the Jeffrey Stevens protocol certification training. And if you watch this after Hypnotalks, I will travel the world. I will be in Australia for the ones from Australia in March and April. I will do some trainings in Australia. I will be in Poland. I will be in Coventry in the UK. I will be in Dubai. So I'm traveling the world doing the Jeffrey Stevens protocol, because Jeffrey died and I promised his family to keep his legacy alive. And it's such a good protocol. I did 2 trainings in the United States in the month of May, and everybody was, even really seasoned hypnotherapists were really happy with the protocol, and they all report me that they are using it with great success. So that's, but when you go to the website, the schedule is there, all information about all the trainings that we're doing.
One more time, please.
Pardon?
Give the website address one more time, please.
Yeah, it's EuropeanHypnosisAcademy.com.
Outstanding. Well, Rob, it's been awesome having you on here on this Make It Rain Mondays series. You can find out more by keeping track of these videos as they air online. Thanks, everybody, for watching. I'm Jason Linett. You can check out more by visiting hypnoticbusinesssystems.com to learn more about how to scale up your own business and get the strategies to make that happen. Thanks for watching. See you all next Monday.